Hey there, welcome back. In today's video, I want to share with you a game played by a 10-year-old boy against a Grandmaster. This happened in Madrid, in the Madrid Chess Festival, and the 10-year-old boy is none other than Faustino, the so-called Messi of chess. Yeah, he was facing David Lariño, and this is the 6th round. So without further ado, let's jump right into the action. E4, D5, the Scandinavian. Yeah, that comes as a little surprise as Lariño was playing e5 all through the tournament, but he also plays d5 sometimes. E takes d5, queen takes d5, and yes, black got rid of white's central pawn, but at the cost of having to move the queen, spending some tempi on it. So Otto plays d4, occupying the center, knight f6, and knight f3. A couple of weeks ago, I recommended bishop d2. In case you haven't seen it, I highly recommend you do it. It's a very nice antidote against the Scandinavian. But Otto played the completely normal knight f3. Now the game continued with knight c6. That is a sharp try. Yeah, we can see that Lariño is trying to mix up things to confuse his young opponent. And this is completely normal. He's a Grandmaster. So bishop d2. And this is a good move. Yeah, now the queen is under some pressure, and Lariño played the hard to understand a6. I guess he is afraid of something like bishop b5. Well, for instance, h6, bishop b5, and now the threat is knight d5. Yeah, for instance, bishop g4, knight d5, attacking the queen, and in case of queen takes b5, knight c7, and capture the queen after this royal fork. So he's afraid of bishop b5, or sometimes he's afraid of knight b5. So he plays a6 as a sad necessity, but okay, he's ready to keep going with normal development. Now the game continues with bishop c4. This move not only keeps up with the piece mobilization, but it also enables knight d5 hitting c7, and this is completely annoying. So the queen had to move again. Yeah, but I wonder if playing the queen to h5 would have been a little bit better, because on f5 gets out of the frying pan to fall into another frying pan. So I don't think this is a good idea. But the game continued with castle, and we can see that white's play is completely harmonious, while black king is still in the center, and it's not clear how to continue the development of his pieces. So Lariño played b5. I was taking a look at more normal moves like e6, trying to play bishop e7 or bishop d6, but it's funny to see that knight e2, bishop e7, and knight g3 wins the queen right away after queen g6, bishop d3, and if the queen moves again, h3. So white is winning right away. b5 is not a nice move to do, but he's trying to confuse things. And bishop d3, queen h5. And black is ready to play bishop g4 and perhaps to castle on the queen side, even though this weakens a bit, but he's somehow desperate. Yeah, also bishop g4 might intend to play e6 and bishop d6 and castle king side. This can be also an interesting idea. But now knight e4 comes right away, and the idea is to get this square for the bishop. Yes, of course, in case of knight takes e4, bishop takes e4, and the pressure is really annoying. Bishop b7 and rook e1 seems nice for white, but okay, you may say black is able to castle. Yes, but then f7 becomes weak, and knight g5 is a nice way to attack it. Queen takes d1, rook takes d1, and f7 is falling. And well, the black rook may end up being trapped. Knight takes f7, rook g8, and bishop takes h7, and white wins. So knight e4, it's a nice way to put pressure. And the game continued with queen d5. Yeah, Lariño can't stop moving the queen. This is somehow hilarious, but it's difficult to suggest something different. Yeah, he wants white to capture, but Otto simply brings the rook to the center, not only to defend the knight, but also to threat knight takes f6 and bishop e4, again targeting the knight on c6 and the rook on a8. Well, bishop f5, yeah, at least it seems that black is trying to simplify the position, and yeah, he's even almost ready to castle, finally. But from now on, black's position is going to be under severe pressure. Yeah, there are several ways, but Faustino played knight c3, attacking the queen, putting pressure on the bishop, queen d7, only move, and now knight e5, attacking the queen, enabling queen f3 to put pressure again on the long diagonal, and forcing knight takes e5, d takes e5, and black position is, well, under huge pressure. Lariño capture on d3. Well, it's interesting to see that knight d5 simply loses to bishop takes f5, queen takes f5, and knight takes e5, winning a piece. Yeah, and moving the knight somewhere else, something like knight g4, is completely ridiculous, but queen f3 wins right away, as he's threatening bishop takes f5, and he's capturing the rook on a8. Well, bishop d3 is the lesser evil, and here both captures are okay, e takes f6, but c takes d3 is the clearest, and that's what Otto played. Yeah, now the c file is open, and the knight is still attacked. Knight d5, yeah, and it would seem that black is already solving his problems. He's about to play e6, bishop e7, and short castle, or even in the worst case scenario, long castle. But here Otto came up with some strong move that, well, you may be guessing e6 is the right way to smash black's position. Yeah, after f takes e6, knight e4. Yeah, after sacrificing the pawn, he's ready to play knight c5. And look at those pieces. Yeah, black's pieces are doing absolutely nothing. There is no coordination, and this extra pawn is, well, it's a nightmare. g6, okay, he's trying to play bishop g7, he's dreaming on going to the king's side with bishop g7 and short castle, but of course he's not going to accomplish it, as knight c5, queen d6, and knight takes e6, and we have a beast on e6. This knight is really strong. It avoids long castle, it also avoids short castle, and it puts pressure on c7. Yeah, this knight is a complete dominator. I mean, this is so difficult for black. Well, okay, Lariño played rook g8. He's scrolling, trying to play bishop g7, bishop f6, and king f7. Seems logical, but okay, queen f3 keeps bringing the pieces. And now with a hidden threat, let's imagine he plays bishop g7 and white to play and win. Yeah, queen takes d5, queen takes d5, and after knight takes c7, check, white wins a piece. So against queen f3, Lariño played c6, defending the knight, and Otto simply completed his development by bringing the rook to c1. If you're liking the video, please don't forget to give me a thumbs up and subscribe for more exciting chess content. Now bishop g7, yeah, now we can enjoy white's position. Yes, we have this beast, but we also have the pressure of those rooks and a well-positioned queen. The knight is also ready sometimes to come to f4, to b4, to g5. Yeah, every one of those pieces is ready to accomplish an aggressive task. So the question is how to finish the game, and there are several ways to do it. Otto came up with rook c5. Yeah, he's simply threatening rook takes d5 and bishop f4. Yeah, for instance, h5, rook takes d5, queen takes d5 is not possible due to knight c7 again, c takes d5, bishop f4, and now after queen c6, knight c7, king d7, we can, instead of capturing, we can use the power of the knight by playing something like queen h3, e6 is not possible, king d8, and something like knight takes a8, queen takes a8, and queen e6, putting pressure here, here, everything is under attack, and black is completely lost. So this explains why bishop e5 came. Lariño, wants to defend the diagonal and puts pressure on h2 and on the knight. Well, Otto continued with the smooth queen h3, defending the knight and creating a very tough situation for black. Now, after all this pressure, Lariño came with king d7. It's hard to explain. This is already a blunder, and he lost right away. After knight d4, he resigned in only 24 moves. After, for instance, e6, rook takes c6, and everything is attacked, the queen, the bishop, the pawn on e6, and this is completely lost. So knight d4 decides, so he resigned. It was interesting to analyze h5 to understand, we were threatening at some point queen takes h7, but now after rook a c1, putting pressure here, rook c8, and knight g5 attacking the rook, black is under a horrible pressure. c6 cannot fall because the rooks are going to destroy black's position. So queen d7 seems a completely normal move, but it loses right away to rook takes d5. And c takes d5 is not possible due to rook c8 winning, and queen takes d5 is not possible due to queen takes c8 also winning. So after h5, rook a c1, rook c8, knight g5, rook c7 is also answered by bishop a5, and black's position collapses right away. Okay, an interesting game. Deceiving simplicity. He destroyed him without mercy. It was a wrecking ball. And but he's a grandmaster, but he was destroyed like a kid. You may think that a kid is the one playing black. So he's pretty close from making history. He's pretty close from becoming the youngest international master in history. We can see the information delivered by chess.com about players that cross the 2400 barrier at age 10, and Abdusattorov at Sindarov, Pragnanha, and all those strong top players of the present. And perhaps Otto will be in this list, but who knows? Still, there are 2 rounds to go, and he needs to win 1 more game. Okay, we're cheering up for him. We'll talk about it on a future video. So for now, thank you and see you next time.